Almost 60 eminent Australians have signed a letter calling on the federal government to make good a promise to subject politicians to greater scrutiny and accountability. In December 2018, the Morrison government announced plans to introduce an integrity commission, but its model was criticised as weak and lacking transparency.
This is a real proposal with real resources, real teeth, but one that I think protects our Commonwealth public administration from the weaknesses of the many other systems.
3 years on, progress has stalled. The government blames the COVID pandemic. Public appetite for a federal watchdog remains strong, with the ABC's latest Australia Talks national survey showing 9 in 10 respondents believe one's needed. Today, almost 60 lawyers and academics have penned an open letter to the Prime Minister urging him to deliver on his pledge. Helen Haines is the federal independent member for Indi, and David Harper is a former Victorian Court of Appeal judge, now at the Australia Institute. David Harper and Helen Haines, thank you very much to both of you for being with us. Mr Harper, first to you, why has this group of eminent lawyers and other people decided that now is the moment to sign this open letter?
The government and opposition have been talking about the need for an integrity commission in the federal sphere for now 2.5 years and more. Both promised to bring in such a commission if elected, and yet nothing has happened, although we're now well into the 46th Parliament.
Helen Haines, is the government taking this matter anywhere, and what will that take to change?
Clearly, Leigh, the government isn't committed to taking this matter anywhere. Today we had 59 eminent Australians sign an open letter to call on the Prime Minister to act. The only thing that we have from this government is a draft exposure bill that was brought to us months ago, and a consultation process that roundly trashed that draft exposure bill, demonstrating that that bill is not fit for purpose, and nothing else has come forward to us. So I'm not surprised that today an open letter has been calling the government to act.
Mr Harper, some politicians would argue that things like Auditors General, various Ombudsmen and Inspectors General, the media ensure their accountability and that that's enough scrutiny. What do you say to that?
I say that is utterly wrong. What is presently in place is a mishmash of different authorities with limited jurisdiction, limited powers and limited finance. They are not specialists in looking at combating corruption, and they haven't been doing the kind of job which only a properly constructed National Integrity Commission with teeth can do.
Presumably many of the lawyers and judges on this list would have seen up close the way that power is abused and can be abused.
Yes, indeed. We are very conscious of the need in a democracy for power to be constrained, and if it's not, then democracy necessarily suffers. Corruption is absolutely the antithesis of government of the people, by the people, for the people. It is the antithesis of democracy. It is government by cabal, by those who have influence and who can influence those in power.
Helen Haines, do you have any reason to believe that Labor, if elected, would make any greater priority of this in the coalition, because all governments have a vested interest to avoid scrutiny?
Leigh, what I know is that both the government and the opposition went to the 2019 election promising the people of Australia a Federal Integrity Commission. Now, the LNP are in government. They simply have not delivered, and they're running out of time. On the 8th of September, it'll be 1,000 days since the Prime Minister said that he would be introducing a Federal Integrity Commission. And what the Australian people know is exactly what the 59 eminent Australians know, and that is that we are in a situation where we have no mechanism to hold parliamentarians to account for any breach of trust or any potential corruption. What the people in Australia see is scandal after scandal. What the people see is mums and dads at night at the kitchen table trying to fill out an application for a sports grant and seeing that abused by the influence of power in a minister's office. So I think it's now up to the Parliament to act. The government have refused to act. I introduced my own private members bill back in October, and I know that members on both both sides of the House and in the Senate support a consensus way forward, and that's what I would say to the government. Let's get on and do this.
Helen Haines, David Harper, thank you.
Thanks, Leigh.
The bottom 20% get nothing. They're really unfair tax cuts.
People want to see much stronger action from the government when it comes to climate change.
It's no coincidence that we have a wages crisis in Australia.
Transitioning to net zero emissions, it doesn't seem like there's much room for gas.